Hey, how you doing? We're back doing site reviews, landing pages, home pages. You know, the open request we made where if anyone wants to get a subjective review of their homepage in terms of layout, speed, how's it look on the mobile as well, and any tips I can give you, I'm here to help you out. And this is completely free because I love to help people out. It's only my opinion. You don't have to like it. You can tell me to get lost and I will get lost. But I love to help. We've got 3 new sites we're looking at today, and we're going to kick off with one from someone called Ming. Now, this website is still kind of work in motion. So it was sent to me a couple of days ago, and I'm looking at it now. So it's going to have a lot of dummy information. I'm not worried about the dummy information. I'm more focusing on the content, the look, and the feel. So as soon as we go into the website, and I'm just going to refresh it again in case there were any animations, and there's not really any. We've got phone number, obviously email in the top. So we've got a header bar there with social sharing icons and a search bar. Okay, that's fine. We then have the logo. I would say that we probably need a better logo there because I think the wording on its own, NBM therapy, it feels a little bit flat. If that's what they want, that's fine. But it just feels a little bit kind of, I don't know, it just feels hollow. I feel like, we've got a lot of space there at the top. You could easily argue that's like 15%, probably even just about more, 20% almost of the page gone with just that. And I would try to say, can we make that header stand out a little bit more? The spacing here, you can clearly see there's more spacing here. So I would say sort that out. You might want to, I don't know if that's a header or a text editor you've got there, but you might want to get any extra returns or decrease the bottom margin, negative, whatever. Just sort out the padding or however you've got that. Make it consistent, basically. We've got this over here. You've heard me say this on other videos. I don't like the underline point. That's just me. If you want to have the underline point, go for it. I just find it's just, I just find it old-fashioned. I just don't like it, okay? And I would actually say that, you've got your menu over here. It would be better on your right-hand side, if I was going to be honest, rather than having it on the left, just with the way our eyes work. So when I'm looking at the screen, my eyes are naturally going to go like down this way, and then I take in what's over here, so it does a curve effect. Here, I'm having to go, it feels a little jagged or jarring in my eyes with jumping over there. So I'd move that to the right-hand side. We have a hero banner. Now, here's where I think a sticky header is not a bad idea. So, this menu, I would even be possibly saying maybe move that to the top. Maybe move these to the left, move that to the top as well. So your menu, your social sharing, your contact details, they're all there. At any point, if I want to contact this company or you, I could do that. The details are there for me to do it. So I would bring all of this to the top and have a sticky header. I'd also get rid of this white bit. So once the menu is up there, white font in the top, sticky header. There's no need for this white because it kind of juts out. You got bluey colors and then white. It almost feels like a full stop on the page before we get to the hero banner. So all of this is happening and I'm going, okay, what's going on here before I've got to Body and Mind Clinic. So we could clean that up. Body and Mind Clinic, we offer psychotherapy for your mental health solutions. That's okay. We offer sounds a little bit, I don't want to say weak, but it sounds like this is what we have rather than this is what we're going to do. It sounds passive, in my opinion. So I would say something like, I don't know. I'm struggling here for a word, but we provide again isn't great. But you want to strengthen that up. Try and get some active words. Look up on the internet dictionary. Try and make that more active. Like we're going to do this for you. Just saying we offer just feels like we'll offer it, but whether you accept or not is up to you. And we might not even give you what you want. So we offer it. It just feels like a suite. Do you want the suite or do you not want the suite? Book your first session. That is quite a powerful button at the moment. It's very big. I would halve the size of that by at least maybe 33%. Take it down to 2/3. I would shrink it down a bit because it's a bit strong, and I'm almost tempted to say that the image at the back as well of just a building, whatever. Again, I would try and say, it's a picture of a building and a number. What's that got to do with psychotherapy? I would maybe have someone who's thinking, maybe someone in a field on a mountain. I would have some sort of optimistic, inspirational image a little bit more. Something to make me go, they're going to help me. This looks a little bit like, this is where we live, kind of thing. So I would say that try and get a bit more of an inspirational image in the background. Having the blue overlay is fine. No issue with that. But I would definitely improve the image down there. And I would even be tempted to make this a little bit more bold in a way as well. The Body and Mind Clinic. Now, here's the bit that where we have a bit of a jump. We've gone from bluey colors to an aqua blue to then having orange. And then we're jumping back into the gold orangey color now. So the problem I have with this is you've now just jumped color, and I had no indication here of the gold orange except here, if I bother to hover over it. But I would say that if that's your bluey highlighty color, I don't mind a highlighty color because it resonates with the blue. But then we jump to this. And I feel like unless your logo at the top or your social sharing icons contain that gold, this is just too big of a jump. Because now I just feel like I've just jumped into something else. It just doesn't match up well. So I would say maybe your social sharing icons or something. But just have a think about, to be honest, you could make it work if you made those icons half the size. Because the icons are so big, it's just pulled me like into a different color change. Half the size of those colors, those icons, and you might get away with it. I would increase the padding here in the columns. They're too close. I mean, look over here. That's just way too close there. So I would definitely go with about, I'm going to say you want to go with about 20, 25 padding within those columns, right? And that will help to shrink the size of your icons as well. We've got this over here. I am wondering though about your fonts at the moment. So I'm detecting Roboto. You've got this one over here. That's Roboto as well, I think. That, I don't know if that's Roboto. Hold on, that's not Roboto. I'm just double checking. I'm not sure if that's Roboto or not. I don't think it is. So that's the third font. It feels like, and then like here, your headline, I would make your headline the same font as what you've used here. Not the size, but the font styling. So have a think about your header and your subheaders need to be the same font. Different size, but same font. And then you might have like header 3, header 4 might be a different font than your body. We did a video about a week or 2 ago, 2 weeks ago, I think, about a website that allows you to get your pairings for your Google fonts and all that. Please watch that to understand what's going to work. Like here, look, why choose us? Again, it just feels like a jump, and the spacing as well. Why choose us? The spacing here is very different to the spacing here. You know, so I would say your services. Sorry, I missed that. It matches your services, but it just feels a little bit like there's too much variation. The sizing here doesn't match the sizing of other areas. Again, I would look at that. I would try and get these check boxes to actually, or icons to be in line with the text. Because look, it's not centered. So I would look at that as well. Sorry if it sounds like I'm picking up a lot, but I'm just trying to help you out with the design here. But I would definitely sort out the lining there. Just checking your padding, spacing, fine. You've got this over here: psychotherapy, reflexology, child psychology. You know, so like, look, you got these images here. You know, some I'd be tempted to say, to be honest, though, I still think you need some stronger psychotherapy images and psychology as well. And here, reflexology. We've now totally gone from body and mind. We're mentioning psychotherapy there. There's no mention of reflexology. Yes, it says body and mind. The reflexology bit here and dance movement, okay, that's psychotherapy. We could get away with it. But reflexology, maybe we need to get that mentioned in the headline. You know, maybe you want to say, take away the words we offer, and you want to say psychotherapy and reflexology for your mental health solutions. Feels more active. Psychotherapy and reflexology for your mental health solutions. By taking out the word we offer, It's just picked it up a gear. And I think that's quite important. You got to read it back to yourself. How do you feel if you heard someone say that? Do you get that vibe or do you get that vibe or feeling? Client reviews, the blue button doesn't work. If you're going to have it on grey, I'd have a grey button down there, a dark charcoaly grey button that matches this. Look at your padding for your reviews. We have now changed, in my opinion, the style. So if you look here, it's very geometric, straight lines. We got curve here, but it's mainly straight line. Images, straight. The button's curved, we'll let that go. But then we move into curved testimonials. And I would say that if you're going to do these blocks, you've got to do blocks here as well. Your buttons can be curved, but your content is going to have to be a block. Otherwise, it just juts out. And I'm even tempted to say, do we even need the color change here? Just have it all in this gray and have your button match this gray and have better padding. And we got the footer at the bottom. I would say that because your social sharing icons at the top are part of the header, and they have no, they're not square, I would not make them square here either. I would make them just match the color of the background. Look, we got a logo here now. This logo should be at the top, MBM Therapy. That should be the logo at the top, not at the bottom. Needs to be up there. I would, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, okay. So the footer's kind of okay, but I would definitely make the social sharing icons different. So how's this look on the mobile? So if I go over here to this screen, so we got the search. I mean, we're completely missing the social sharing icons now. And unless you've got a blog, please bear in mind, a lot of people put search on there. And I'm now going to say, you haven't got a blog from what I can tell. You're not selling anything. Do you need the search? And as long as your menu is clear, services, pricing, whatever, I don't think the search is needed. I would get your social sharing icons and your phone number back up there, or your email. You know, this bit here. I would get these back up there. I just think that, and also the menu. My recommendation is you get the menu not to be white, but you match this blue. You match this blue, and you get the text to match the dark blue. Okay, and you think about your font as well. Also, by the way, when you do your drop down and all of that for your menu, I can't see it in the style tab, but just look at the divider space. Okay, you can shrink that because you've got a bit of a line space going on there. Okay, it's the same kind of thing, really. You know, your menu. Sorry, not your menu. Your headline. Change that. Shrink the button. That button is just too much in your face as a call to action. I would definitely shrink that. You know, again, look, shrink that icon to at least half the size because it's too powerful. It's just too big, in my opinion. Shrink them down. I would just double check your spacing. So you see here the padding you've got on the mobile here, whatever that is. Let's just say it's 100 pixels. When you get to here, why choose us? That's like what? 30 pixels, maybe 40, 30. So match. Don't just make it look good on a desktop and skip the mobile. It's important to really get it right. I would consider spacing these out better. So I would add in at least 20 extra pixel spacing between them. They look a bit too cramped up. Remember to apply consistency in your font sizing, because look, the sizing does feel like there's loads of sizes going on. The content, you know, shrink your buttons. Again, you know, I mean, look, this looks a little bit weird, I have to be honest. So when I go back to over here now, it just looks odd why we've got these two rows. And then on the mobile, it looks not worse, but it just doesn't feel right. Well, look, you got this block and then you got another block. And it just feels a little bit why we got the spacing. So I would definitely restyle that. Put them together. And then you got your footer. And look, we got this menu again. Look at your color scheme. Try and match things up. I think for psychotherapy, if you imagine, these are people that might they might be anxious, paranoia, they really need to speak to someone, there's things going on. I would definitely recommend you get a sticky header up there with your phone number, email phone number, and the menu and the logo maybe. Keep it, don't have it as, just have it like the height of this blue bar. Why? People can instantly contact. Right, I like what I see, I want to contact. Right? That is almost your call to action at the top of the screen. Phone number, email. By hiding it away, someone might go, oh no, where do I go? Oh, and give up. So try and think about the state of mind of how you can help them. And I don't mean to disrespect anyone, by the way. I'm just kind of giving you my opinion on it. Now, on your scores, your desktop is actually really, really good. You got 100%. And on the mobile, even though the score came out at 73 when I ran it, I don't really see any issue. So in terms of sizing, optimization, you're okay on there. The only reason your score is coming down is because sometimes it's due to server speed, okay? And if I'm honest, your issue here is just like auto-optimize and the fact you got a slider. This is common, right, with the unused JavaScripting with auto-optimize or lots of other plugins. So I'm going to say forget it, because I bet on another day of the week, if I ran this, I'm probably going to hit 90, 95%. So I'm not worried about your speed. I hope the recommendations I've given will help you just to kind of refine this and have a think about the content, the layout, and consistency in the fonts. We're on to our second site. You've got Group Miguel logo and Cristophe Miguel. Now, I just want to hit return again and just show you, because there is a little bit of animation going on there, okay? At the minute, I've got this translated to English or thereabouts, and obviously you saw things came flying in. The things flying in was actually okay. The way that came from below the logo, not the logo, the header was actually quite nice. Sometimes people have it come over the header, which looks a bit odd sometimes, but coming from beneath, that's really good Z indexing. That's good. What I am going to say, though, is, and I know the person who's been making this, because I've been speaking to them on and off about other stuff, is I would make that logo, I would halve the size of that logo. So where it's about that big, I would halve it, because that will shrink the height and the length, because that's really, really big. I mean, I'm guessing that that's going to be nearly 33% of the page gone with just a header. And what you've got is logo, navigation. We've got the word menu over here as well, next door to the menu. And then you've got your social sharing icons. And when we click that, we're going to have a pop-up menu. I like the pop-up menu. I understand why they've done this with like symbols and all that, because they're serving different purposes with each of the pages and all that. However, I do wonder if the word menu really is needed. If the customer client feels it is, then fine, keep it in. I would actually lose it, but I would definitely say you want to get this entire header to be, and if I just draw it over here for you, you want to get it to be no more than, I would probably say about, I'm going to go with like, I'll go with about 90, 93. In fact, I am definitely going to go with 90. Let's go, there we go, 90. You don't want it to be more taller than that. So when you get your logo, right, if we just take your logo at the moment, your logo is 190. If you halve that, that will come to 95. So I would say take it down a little bit more. Don't just halve it. I would say go to about 45%. Get that logo to be no more than 80. So all you got to do is go to WordPress Media Library, put a copy of the logo in so you still have the original, hit the scale button and scale it to be no taller than, say, 85. No, not 85, 80. Go with 80 pixels tall, so that when you have 90 as the height of your header, you got about 5 pixels above and below it to just give a bit of spacing. But I would definitely shrink that down, okay? Because the other things you also think about is, because that is so tall, half of Cristophe is hidden away. And to just even read anything more about him, well, who is he? Do I care? I've got to scroll. All of this bit here, Cristophe Miguel, all of it should be higher up. In fact, all of this should fit. Now, I am using a MacBook Air and I have shrunk my screen down a bit for recording purposes. And you could argue, oh, it looks good on a big screen. But remember, on a laptop, I would bring this all up. all of this information here. What I would say though is I would break this up. So I would break this up into maybe 3 paragraphs. And I could even maybe say that some of this does not need to be here, because what we're being told is a lot about Cristophe, okay? But what I'm not being told of at the minute is what is Group Miguel. So we're being told about Cristophe and the gardener, but what is Group Miguel? What is the what is this going to solve for me? Now over here we have a headline, taking care of nature and people. And then it goes into over the years and my experiences, this idea has become an unavoidable priority. This stuff here is more suited to the about or the further details, whatever. This bit here, taking care of nature and people, I would expand on that. And you really want to be getting that over here. Cristophe Miguel, is that going to be enough to convince people to stay here? So let's say I don't know Cristophe, never met him. I need a gardener, found his website, I come on and it goes Cristophe Miguel. I'm going to go, nah, move on. I probably won't stick around because there's nothing here yet telling me what does he do. Because what we're being told is his life story. What we're not being told is, now look here, the eco-responsible maintenance of green spaces, right? Taking care of nature and people with eco-responsible maintenance of green spaces. That's your headline. Taking care of nature and people with eco-responsible maintenance of green spaces. There's your headline. That needs to be at the top. You can have his image, and then further below you can have extra paragraphs, but that is what I would definitely think about there. Because a lot of this is about stuff that you could have further down or on a separate page. Then we get onto Miguel Group. Now, I'm just going to check something. Okay, so I'm just going to increase my screen size. So yeah, I can see here, if I increase my size, I can see what's going on there. So I'm actually going to do that. So yeah, okay. So if I just do this now, I can see there how you've got overlap. So sorry, everyone, I've increased the screen size there so you can see that better. Okay. That's okay with the image. What I will say, though, and this is a pernickety one, you got a border radius here on the curve for the container behind, or the shade, and then your image here is square. I would curve that as well. If you're going to curve here, you got to curve there as well. If you just have a curve in one place and not the other, it starts to look a bit odd. And I would also move this down, because at the moment, what you've got is you've got a lot of text, okay? You got a header, and this image is way too close to the top there. So I would push that image down. I would definitely push it down. I would even be tempted as saying, make that image have a taller height. So rather than width, rather than focusing on width, make it a taller height. And when you pick the height in images, you then have the option to pick cover. So it'll make the image cover, so you'll get usually the center of it, which actually will be enough on this image here. But I do think that just needs to be, yeah, I think it's looking a bit off in terms of offsetting. I would make this button curved, because you're going for a curved, rounded approach. You can see the roundedness. And then you've got a block button. I would go for a curved radius. Go for a radius of about 15. Just curve it a bit. Then we get down to here, towards the footer. Cristophe Miguel again. There's something about that which is off, which is not sitting well with me. I would decrease the size of the icons just a little bit. I would increase the space between the two lines there, contact and the phone number. I feel like the Cristophe Miguel needs to be in line with all of that content. At the moment, you got Cristophe and then you got these stuff here. I think it needs to be in line with the numbers and everything there. The image is really good. I like that image. And you could even argue that image needs to be up there. It sounds really weird, but I've made this point on other videos before. When people come here, if they don't know Cristophe, no one's going to care about Cristophe. Someone might look at him and go, I don't like him. I don't like what he's wearing. Cristophe is probably a lovely guy, but no one's going to care. Maybe that image or something of some actual, because at the moment there's no image on here of any landscaping, of any gardening. I've got a stock photo. I've got him, and I've got this. So what you're really missing is a really strong gardening image that's going to show me what does Cristophe do. Hook me in with the headline and the image. Then I would come down to something like this, right? With this image against your pesticide-free weeding, right? Then I would come on to who is Cristophe, the life story. The stuff we've got right at the top, I would bring here. So it needs to be in section 3. And then we get the footer. And all of this stuff could actually be put into this area here. So rather than using a big area for the name and contact, I would have that in the footer. It's just my opinion. I know nothing. Right. So let's just now view it. So look, can you see that's a pretty big header? You really want to shrink that down. And if it's okay for you not to have the word menu here, right? Can you see there's no word menu? You don't need to have the word menu here at the top, okay? Can you see here, this could split into paragraphs, it would look better, but follow through what I said on the desktop. Headline, gardening image, section 2, you have that clip arty image and pesticide and all of that. Maybe some further images of what services or examples of his work. And then the third section is Miguel's photo, sorry, not Miguel, Cristophe's photo, and the about bit about him. Okay, all of that stuff. Okay, so I think at the moment, if you look at the footer here on the mobile, it's off because it hasn't been sized up. So go away and resize your sections and your image. You know, just because you got an image that's that big for the desktop, you want to resize it for the mobile. But I would think about reordering the content layout of that page, and it could work for you really well. Let's just check this page speed insights on this then. So the desktop is going to be hitting, well, it's 98. I bet it will hit 100 if I ran it again. And the score is 92%. That is good. You know, don't worry about the fact it's not fully 100, because most times it'll be down to your server speed, which we cannot control. If your server speed is a little slow, it affects your largest content full paint. I wouldn't worry about it. Because, like, there is no recommendations. And the diagnostics, this is just kind of due to the server speed a little bit. What I will say, though, is your font display, I would preload these. In my video on 2022 optimization or whatever, page speed score, I would custom font, and I would also preload this as well. So when you preload this, say, into the asset cleanup plugin, it preloads it and it will improve your page speed performance. But I think there's a bit of work needed on improving the layout of this page. We're on to our third and final site of today's video, and it's Michelle Mario Nicholas coaching. Sorry if I got your name wrong there. Let's hit return again. There's no major animations coming in here. I'm just going to shrink this up just so we can see the page properly there. Everything looks fine. I am going to say, I do think there just needs to be a little bit of extra padding at the top there, just because that is a lengthy title there. Make single life matter. I like that. I like that slogan. But I just feel like a bit of extra padding at the top there. Maybe make 50 at the top and 50 at the bottom. It feels like 20 and 20. I'm guessing 15, 20, 20. And I would just increase that a bit. Are you ready to kick your singleness journey up a notch? And this is where, again, I think this needs to be 100. So 50 here, 50 here, 100 here, and 100 here. Now, you might say, by increasing the padding, I'm pushing lots of content further below. Freedom to thrive, here's what you'll have access to, all this. But there's a reason. At the moment, that looks a little bit busy with how much wording there is there. I've come on and I'm like, whoa, title, headline, subheadline, text, freedom to thrive. There's a lot of text going on there. In terms of imagery, there's a gradient, but that's it. And I am tempted to say you might want to get an image, something that is like got a gradient over it, a little bit transparent, so it's not taking up your wording, or it's not fighting with your wording. Because at the moment, that gradient there on its own with no other imagery, I know it can work. And I know people might say, well, what's the issue? But I feel like it's just missing something. It needs like, I don't know, an icon or an image, even just an icon of women, of just something where someone is empowered, passionate, powerful, they're strong. They've got over something just needs to be there. And if you were going to have an image, I would have it here. I would have it here. Okay. Doesn't have to be there, but I would have it here. So I would add a bit of padding and 100 there and 100 there. The wording here is fine. This is a little small, if I'm honest. And I would be tempted to take that up a little bit of a notch because I can read it. But I'm just trying to say everyone's, in terms of accessibility, in terms of the size of that, I would take that up a slight notch. And if you take that up a slight notch, this definitely has to go up a little notch. So let's pretend that is size, I don't know. Let's go for pixel, I don't know, let's pretend that's pixel 10 or 9. Take it up to pixel 11. You really want to be using REM, but in terms of pixels, take it up by 2. Just because I feel like it will just help it a little bit, but definitely get an image or an icon or an image inside of a circle. It doesn't have to be big, just, just little. It will help that page. I would then say here, I would have at least 100 pixel padding, from the top there, to push that down. The text is okay. Empower each other. Yeah, okay, I get that. Here's what you'll have access to. Now, here's the funny thing about the font, right? I can see there's a peachy color. Pastely pink in areas, bit of burgundy. There's peachy colors going on there. And then you get here, and we now got a bold burgundy. And we got these colors here, which are of the palette, but they're different. But they're not matching that color. So I'm getting a lot of differentiation here now between gold, green, and navy blue. Is that navy blue, black? Might be, let me increase my screen. Yeah, it's like an off black there. And then we've got, it's just that what I'm thinking about is consistency in color. And if you're going to go with this color here, I would have that color for the question mark and maybe all of the icons, or mix it up, or go with like a peachy color for all of the icons, something that just ties back to that. I mean, look, you got this color here. See this color here? I would probably use that for your icons because it blends in nicely with the white. It's not overpowering. It's not fighting for attention. Whereas here, there's a lot of variation going on, and I would make it consistent there. Again, look, you got the button, so the peach color would tie everything in together. That is a nice footer. Even though it is a small font, it is a small font, and I do wonder if you need to up it a little bit because it is quite small, but that is a very nice footer. I like the layout. I would actually, I'm a lie. Can you increase the spacing here? That spacing there is very tight. A little bit of spacing, yeah? I would say at least 10 pixels. But then everything else on here, increase the size a bit. That is a nice layout. Just needs increasing in size. Overall, good. All it's missing is just an image, I think. Otherwise, it just becomes like text. Starts to feel like a thesis or a dissertation, or like feels like I'm opening a book, like an encyclopedia. Images can help break things up. I know you got icons, but just an image, something there, just to pop it a little bit. Now, when we get to the mobile, you can see here now, I can kind of see how by you having all this text on here, that kind of is above the fold, but you have got some text here creeping above the fold, and that's where I feel like an image here could help you out. I would also just double check your content here on your button, because you want to try and change the wording a bit so it doesn't wrap onto another line. Yes, I know on a wider mobile phone that does not wrap, but if you imagine iPhone, the XR size, you're going to get the wrap effect, okay? So a bit of an image there. I do wonder though, I'm guessing there is padding there, so if there's padding, that is fine. the sizing here is I would increase the padding a tiny bit. I feel like the padding there, because it's a block of text, make sure you got at least 15 pixels left and right. Bring it in a little bit. You can see what I've already said my bit about the colors. See the padding space you got here, or the spacing, the margin, whatever. Over here, it's small. And I would get whatever this is here, stick here and here as well. Space them out a bit more. Because look, you got a big one here, but it's small. Right? It's small, really small there. So I would say just space it out a bit better there. And I would definitely add in 15 pixel padding over here and here. I wouldn't have it as God, what's the word? Justified text over there. I would just have it as left text or central text. Left text is fine. 15 pixel padding left and right. But once you got the colors right in an image, that's a pretty good website. What's your page speed like? Your desktop is about in the 70s, but I'm concerned more about the mobile, and that's hitting 45, and that is kind of what I was guessing. So a lot of the issue is the time to interact, which can be due to your server. But we are getting told here that there are issues with SG Optimizer. Now, I use SiteGround. Okay, I use SiteGround for loads of my websites. However, I don't use SiteGround Optimizer. Why? Because it's not that good. I know they've improved it, and I know SG won't like me saying this, but on every website that I have with SiteGround, I've removed the optimizer, and I use Auto-Optimize. Okay, watch the video I did about in January, page speed, score, performance 2022. Go watch it. That has the settings, because SG Optimizer is not that good. Okay, and the size it's hitting you there, it's not that good. Trust me. Okay, it is not that good a plugin. I don't think it is anyway. Like you're getting a lot of delays caused by the optimizer tool. Yeah, honestly, go through Auto-Optimize, because that is going to help you a load, right? Because a lot of the issues I think you're getting here with your delay, especially here at the moment, I think a lot of that is your optimizer. So I would go to Auto-Optimize instead. I hope this helped, Michelle. You're nearly. It is a nice looking website. I think it just it's not bad. Sorry, it's not perfect. I think it just needs an image there. Consistency in the colors you're using on the icons. And just double check your mobile padding and things like that. So there you go. That's 3 more sites reviewed. It's my opinion. Take it or leave it. Ignore me. Never follow or talk to me again. But for those of you that are interested, send over your landing page or your homepage, and I'll have a look at it and give you my honest opinion and comment, and any tips of improvement. I hope you like, subscribe, share, and follow, and I'll keep seeing you